Hello students, your new writing lesson for the day. It's Monday the 21st of September and we got introduced to these lowercase letters that drop below the line. Those ones right there, G, J, P, Q, and Y. And they are grouped together like this because all of them have this bottom that goes down below this bottom line. And we have been practicing many letters that are right here. The bottom is right there for all the other letters, but not on this one, or not on these 5 letters. They go below the line. So we already practiced at the beginning of the year this letter G, and the letter G we practiced because it has the letter C inside of it. Take a look here. Remember this letter C that we did quite a few times? Remember that? So we practiced that letter G, but we didn't really talk about this hook that goes below. If you notice, the hook goes below this line, and we talked about it probably a little bit, but now we're going to explicitly learn about these letters that go below this bottom line. Let me take the red off. And well, first of all, you're going to practice this letter G, which we have already done together. So you can pause the video and practice that letter G. And when you're finished, you're going to continue over here with this letter J. And I've already written one letter J, and I'll go through the motions of the letter J like I did today in class already. So watch what I'm doing right now. This is not a time for you to be writing. It's time to be looking right there where I am going to be starting my letter J. So right on that dotted line, and it's got to be a top to bottom stroke, except you go right through the line and you curve up like that to make a hook. And then after it's done, you make the dot. The dot goes last, not first. Again, watch this stroke. Top to bottom. Go straight through this bottom line and then make the hook. Pick up your pencil and then make the dot after you're done. One more time. Starting right on this dotted line in the middle. You go top to bottom. Through that bottom line, make the fishhook, let it up. Then on stroke number 2, make the dot. And that is your letter J. And I want you also to make 5 of these letter J's. Make them as nice as you can, just like that. Before you do that, though, look at some of the common mistakes. I want to look at some of the mistakes that we see sometimes. So I'm going to do that in red. And here is a very common mistake. It is to stop on there, like that. It's shaped just like a letter J, but it's not going through the bottom line. That's a very common mistake. Here is another mistake. Yeah, very, very common one is just to kind of make it in the middle here, like that. And this one is just sort of floating around, doesn't know where to sit exactly. The bottom is not in the right place. That should be going through the bottom, down underneath. This spot right here, the top of the J, is not here on the dotted line, and then this dot is too high. So there are problems with that kind of a J. Another common issue, and we saw some of it this morning, is getting carried away with a fishhook. Going woohoo! All the way down to the bottom or actually the top of the next line. And as you can see, it's quite a bit bigger than it needs to be. It might look cool, but you don't want to write your letter J like that. You want it to go down like this blue one here. You want it to stop here in this empty space. You don't want it to keep going down, down, down and touch the next line. And those are the common mistakes. Of course, there's everything in between, all the mistakes that we have in between that. There's sometimes you see like that. That's another mistake, to put the dot too high and to make, that's basically a capital J with a dot on the top. So anyway, those are some common mistakes to avoid. You want to do it the way I showed you over here. This is what you want to do in the blue letter J's. So do those not 5 times, do them 10 times. Just to practice and make really sure you're good at it. And then, of course, those letter G's that we have practiced in the past. Now you're not done. That's not it. Even if it's kind of sounded like I was over. We have one more thing to practice, and that was what I noticed today about our number writing, which was, needs some work. So we treat numbers like capital letters. They are all going to be tall, top to bottom. They fill up this entire space. And what makes the numbers kind of easy is that they're all the same size. There's not like a drop tail on a number. There's not a dot on a number. It's just very straightforward. All of the numbers have to touch that top line and touch this bottom line exactly. Every single one of the numbers. So it makes it an easy pattern to follow. Go through and write all the digits again, 1 through 9. Add a 0 as well. I probably could have put that in the beginning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you notice every single one of these is the same height. We don't have numbers that are dropping below the lines. And here we're coming up to the end. And I'll add a 0. I know that's not counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. But what I wanted to do is cover all the digits. So that's it. Those are all the digits in numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. So practice those. I will zoom out so you can see the whole thing. This is your activity here. Write your name and the date, of course, as always, and practice all these letters as I have described. And I will see you in class, and thanks for doing your homework.